He's my brother and my blood, and I will die and kill for him if necessary. Go to ground, 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 go to ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Give ground, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take ground, 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 take ground. My soldiers take ground till them stand down. Take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground. My soldiers take ground till them stand down. Take ground, take ground, take ground. Now this ain't no movement, this a takedown. We will not be moved or intimidated. We ain't the type. You got a problem, tell them cross the fucking line. My niggas ain't polite. Soldiers to the left and right. I die for every man body. Before I be a coward, I'd rather be a dead body. This will be my kingdom when the hour pass. You can either get with it or get flipped like an hourglass. We live by honor and no excuse. Just send the prayer up to the Lord. I told him, then let all the terrorists loose. Hold your tongue or get rebuked, cause you made a truce. With a race to make merchandise, how to buy abuse. Scared of who? You got your gun, then pull it. Me and my niggas start to argue, it's about who gon' bite the bullet. It gon' take round, take round, take round. Opponents better move slow. Attack dog for this truth, nigga, cool y'all. Go to ground, 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 go to ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Give ground, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take ground, 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 take ground. My soldiers take ground till them stand down. Take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground. My soldiers take ground till them stand down. Oh, thought you could cross us with no consequence.
Shalom, Baltimore. Shalom, Baltimore and abroad. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are under commanding General Yohana. We're teaching this truth since 1969 that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are the true biblical Jews of the Bible. You understand? And with that fact and with that knowledge that we're the true biblical Jews of the Bible, we have a certain conduct, a certain moral standard that we live by as Israelites. The law of the Bible, man. The law, statutes, and commandments of this book. This is how we come to life. You understand? This is how you're really supposed to live, blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. You understand? Without that, we live in desolence. We live in total utter destruction. We live in confusion. We live in death. We live in sorrow. We live in the pits of hell, because we choose to follow the customs and ways of our oppressor rather than following what the Lord gave us. The Lord gave us a way of life. The Lord gave us our own customs, our own culture. But instead of following God, we rather follow after, things that are vain. So we're gonna go get it started. We're gonna first scripture we're gonna have is we're gonna go in Ezekiel 37th chapter. Bear with me 1 second. As a matter of fact, we're gonna start in Genesis. Bear with me 1 second. Get this scripture real quick. We're going to start in Genesis 2 and 7. I'm going to go in Genesis chapter 2, verse 7 real quick. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. And the Most High Power formed man of the dust of the ground. Like when we was in the Christian church, we literally think, we coming from the actual literal dirt of the ground. They'll show you some cartoon or give you some analogy of some actual dusty man coming up out of the dirt. Some naked, usually some naked white man coming out of the dirt. This is what the Christian church. This is how simple the Christian church is. This dust ain't talking about literal dust out of the ground. It's talking about a low state. You understand? This man doesn't have the wisdom and knowledge and understanding yet. You understand? But he's coming up out of that low state. He's coming up out of that rut of unknowing. You understand? And it says, in the Most High Power formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And also they give this analogy, like you'll watch these Christian cartoons, or they give an analogy of, the Lord literally breathing like CPR type thing into Adam's lungs. It's talking about Adam, by the way, into Adam's lungs. That was not a literal thing. This is talking about the Lord giving him that wisdom, that knowledge. That wisdom, that knowledge is the breath of life. The law, statutes, and commandments. This is how Adam came to life. Adam was already living. He already created man and woman. He was already on the earth and everything. Adam was already physically a physical person in the earth here. But there was a transition from not knowing the law to knowing the law. Knowing the law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? How do you know Adam taught his sons? How do you know that? How do you know he had the law? You understand? Cain and Abel understood, sacrifices. You understand? Giving we can go to that real quick when we got time. You understand? He taught his sons the law. Let me get this in the scriptures real quick. Just bear with me. Adam had the law, that breath of life. It's the law, statutes, and commandments. This is how every black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian needs to wake up, man. Because we in that dust, we in that low state as a people, as a nation right now. You understand? We following the ways of the heathen, man. This is how we become a living soul. Continuing on in 7, it says, and man became a living soul. This is how we become an actual living soul. You understand? Without it, we in desolence, man. We sleep, as the term, so to speak, or what have you. That's why brothers and sisters say, wake up. We gotta wake the hell up, because we in that rut, man. We in that rut. We in that low state. We in that dust. You understand? Bear with me 1 second. Give me Genesis 4. Just give an example of how we know Adam had the law, because he taught his son, he taught the brother, taught his family the law. Alright. We're in Genesis, the 4th chapter. I'm gonna start at verse 2. Genesis chapter 4, verse 2. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of the sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. You understand? I mean, Abel, he dealt with the cattle or what have you. Understand? Cain, he was a tiller of the ground, fruits, vegetables, things like that. He was a farmer or what have you. Verse 3. And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. Now, he offering things unto the Lord, sacrifices, what have you. You understand? Verse 4. And Abel, he also brought of the firstling of his flock, and of the fat thereof, and the Most High had respect unto Abel and to his offering. The Lord had respect unto Abel because he did things the proper way, the things that he was taught from his father. You understand? Get a cattle. You understand? This is what he was taught. He was taught the law. You understand? And the fat thereof. You understand? He got it from the flock. Verse 5. But unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. Like meaning what? Cain, his offering had no respect because he knew better. He knew the law. His father taught him correctly. He was supposed to trade up for that lamb, trade up for that cattle, and use that as an offering rather than these berries or fruits or whatever he got up out of the ground. You understand? This is how you know they had the law. They had order. They had those laws, statutes, commandments, and the way to do things. And it says, and Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. Verse 6, and the Most High said unto Cain, why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? I mean, he already knows why. He's just asking. It's black talk. You'll hear black people. You'll hear black people say, "Oh, why are you mad?" Meaning, they know exactly why you're mad. They're just putting a little bit more emphasis on the situation. You understand? Why are you mad? Verse 7, if thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? I mean, if you would have done what Adam taught you to do, the proper protocol and going about this sacrifice, this offering, you would be good. It says, if thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. Sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. You understand? You got to recognize and understand the law is how we come to life. Like we've been taught in America and under this Christianities and all these other philosophies and doctrines that how to get out of this state that we in. We got to get jobs. We got to go to college. We got to get more education, more reform, more. That's not, all those things are fine, but the initial thing that's going to get us on the right path to righteousness and the right path of restoring our nation is doing what the Lord told us to do, which was keep these laws. You understand? It's like we wroth now. You understand? We wroth because we choose to follow after the Christian church rather than do what the Lord told us to do. You understand? We desire to stay in the customs and culture of another nation. You understand? Rather than follow our own culture, man. You understand? We'd rather do that. And because of that, God does not accept us. He's not on our side because of that. Now how do we come to life? How do we come to life? How do we get out of this rut? Many black leaders say we got to get out and vote, we got to get jobs, we got to go to college, all this madness. Some of them cats mean well, but that ain't the sole solution to fixing blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. We gotta get back to this Bible. We gotta truly follow the Lord, so the Lord can be on our side and we can come up out of this how we living it. Like the Christian church is prolonging our captivity. They're prolonging our captivity by saying the laws is done away with, by saying we can't keep those laws, and that just continues the utter destruction that we in under our oppressor, man. That's what that does. It's a continuous cycle of destruction because we want to follow the heathen. We want to follow the heathen, and because of that, we're wrong. By wrong. We gotta do way better than that, man. We gotta do way better than that. We gotta get right with the Lord, man. We gotta get right with the Lord and really get back to this law, man. We're gonna go into Ezekiel. Bear with me 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. Get this scripture real quick. I'm going to go to Ezekiel 37. Chapter real quick. We're going to start at verse 1 second. We'll start at verse 1. We're going to go all the way down. We'll start at verse 1 and go down. Bear with me 1 second. Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 1, it says, the hand of the Most High was in the spirit. So the hand of the Most High was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of the Most High and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones. You gotta really visualize this here. You understand? And put it in terms where we can understand. This valley is Highlandtown or Lexington Market or Park Heights or what have you. And those dry bones are the brothers and sisters that are not living, that don't have that breath of life, that are physical able bodies or what have you, but they're not a living soul without this book. They're not a living soul without these laws, statutes, and commandments. So that's why the Isupk goes into these places, these valleys, you know, where we are most desolate, you understand, and destroyed, where those dry bones are, you understand. We go down into those places, you understand. Yep. to the forgotten. You know what I'm saying? I remember we went to Canada, Lexington Market, and the police officer down there said, why bother? Good luck. Like, what's the point of even speaking down here? Like, there's no hope for black people. He was a black police officer as well. You understand? That's the mindset we have for each other, which is disgusting. You understand? But we're going to do the job as the ISUPK continues to do. We're going to wake up these dry bones. You understand? We're going to wake up the dead. You understand? Let's get some more of this Bible though, all right? In the midst of the valley which was full of bones, verse 2, and caused me to pass by them round about, and behold, they were very many in an open valley, and lo, they were very dry. Verse 3, and he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? You know what I'm saying? It's a question, like, what's the point? We so destroyed, we so desolate in every way, shape, or form, and is by design by our oppressor that we continue to be oppressed and destroyed in the pits of hell. Can these bones live? Is it even worth going to camp? Is it even worth doing the classes? Is it even worth picking up the phone all throughout the night and the day? Is it worth all of that? Can these bones even live? Can these bones live? Is it worth all the time and money and sacrifice to prophesy, to do the job of a priest? Is it worth it? Can these bones really live? Is it worth it? You understand? Reading on. Can these bones live? And I answered, Most our power thou knowest. Verse 4, he said unto me, Prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Most High. And that's what we do every weekend and throughout the week in these classes and these lectures and all the work that the ISUPK does. We prophesy. We teach to the people that are forgotten, to the people that are looked down upon, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and the nation is not desired. You understand? We're not desired in this place, man. We're not desired in the Americas. Our oppressor does not desire us, man. And a lot of our own people don't desire each other. You understand? And it's because of Christianity, man. It's because of Christianity. It's because of Christianity we have a lack of brotherhood for each other, man. We have a lack of brotherhood for each other. But ISUPK, we're going to prophesy. And it says, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Most High. Verse 5, thus saith the Most High. Thus saith the Most High unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, just like in Genesis, the 2nd chapter that we read earlier. Genesis, the 2nd chapter that we read earlier, that's that breath of life. That's that knowledge, that's that wisdom, that's that understanding Adam received. And we're seeing the same thing here. This is how black people come to life. You understand? This is how we come to life. And without it, we're dead, man. And without it, what are we? We're just dry bones. We're just dry bones without these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. That's all we are. Desolate, destroyed, man. But when we come to this Bible, and we get that breath of life, that's when we really start living. That's how the Lord intended us to live, by these laws. And we wonder why we in the conditions that we in today. In the Christian church, they got blood on their hands because they say we don't got to keep these laws. We don't got to keep these laws and come up with all these other so-called solutions to fix black people in our communities, but they forgetting about the blueprint. They don't have this right here. They don't have the blueprint to fix black people. Blueprints to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. And without it, man, we're going to continue in this destruction. We're going to continue in this captivity under our oppressor, man. We're going to continue to be dry bones, man. We're going to continue to be dead and live in death, and it's a graveyard around us, man. It's a graveyard around us, just death and destruction around us, man. I'm going to get some more of this Bible. Verse 5, thus said the Most High unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. That's what we desire here in the UPK. We want black people to live. We want black people to breathe this breath of life and really, truly start living. You understand? Rather than living the lifestyle of our oppressor, because that is surely death. You understand? It is surely death. We can't behave like that. You understand? We adopted their culture, we adopted their ways, we adopted their lifestyle, and we paid an ultimate price because of that. Our families are broken, the brotherhood is gone, and we dying and starving in the streets every goddamn day. That is death. That is death. That is not life. You understand? But being a goddamn drug addict and an alcoholic, that's the lifestyle of our oppressor, man. That is death. Being a homosexual, that is a lifestyle of our oppressor. That is not life. That is death. The LGBTQ community, that is not life. That is death. All of this pro-choice garbage, that is death. Following our oppressor, man. Following the customs and the ways of our oppressor, that is death, man. But following these laws, getting that breath of life, that is when we come to life. You know what I'm saying? Choosing to be a drug dealer like this so-called oppressor, that's his lifestyle. That is death in our community, man. Brothers and sisters out here dying over sales. That's what a lot of the deaths come from in Baltimore. For a goddamn sale. Over sales, over territory, or what have you. Either that or over a woman, over a whore. You understand? Following these laws eliminates that death. You understand? Eliminates that greed. You understand? Eliminates, destroying our brothers and sisters, man. We don't understand the value of this book because of Christianity and Islam and all these other philosophies. We don't understand the value of the law, the brotherhood behind the law, the sisterhood behind the law. You understand the safety that it gives the nation of Israel, man. We shall come to life. You shall live. Breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. It's time for us to start living and to stop dying. But in order for us to do that, we ought to follow this Bible, man. We ought to follow what the Lord gave us. But we desire the net of evil, man. Like the book of Proverbs said, you understand? We desire the net of evil men that lie to us, and those words that say we can do whatever the hell we want, man. We can do whatever we desire, but we can't do that, because we can see the result of that, man. You understand? Our children pay for it. We pay for it. The whole nation pays for it, man. We gotta collectively follow this book, man. And we shall live. All right. Let's get some more. Go down to verse 12, and it says, I'm gonna go down to verse 10. Bear with me 1 second. Go to 7, so in verse 7. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. You know what I'm saying? This is a family. Family coming together, man. Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, you understand? We don't understand the volume of this book, man, because of Christianity. This is how we really come to life, right? Alright? Verse 8, and when I behold, lo, the sinews and the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. Verse 9, then said unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, that thus saith the Most High, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. Verse 10, so I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived, and set up their feet an exceeding great army. Man, we don't understand the value of keeping these laws, man. An exceeding great army. You're going to be an exceeding great army. You're going to be a great nation again. But we can't allow the lies of Christianity in this place that we're living in, to continue in the ways of the heathen, man. We can't continue in that madness. You can't continue in that garbage, man. We ought to do what the Lord told us to do. And stop going off our own philosophy and our own doctrine, and trying to come up with all these so-called solutions when we're not following the Lord. They ain't going to work unless we follow God, man. Unless we follow these laws, statutes, commandments that the Lord gave us, man. We're going to read on some more. We'll go down to verse 12. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Most High power, behold, O my people, I will open up your graves and cause you to come out of your graves. That's what we living in. We living in a grave, man. We living in utter desolence. Utter desolence, man. Every day is a shooting. Every day is an overdose. It's been normalized. Like we talk about it like it's a normal. It ain't normal. All the drugs, all the violence, all the killings, all the all the destruction around us is not supposed to be normal. This is absolute hell. What we living in right now. It's absolutely hell, man. It ain't supposed to be like this. Because we're choosing to follow, a society of people, a custom of another people that destroys us. That's their culture. All the drugs and the fighting and the violence. That's the culture of our oppressor, and we've adopted that culture. We adopted the culture of the Italians, man, and the Greeks and all these other nations, man. We adopted their philosophies, their doctrines, man, and because of it, we living in that grave. We living in that destruction. We living in that death. Reading on. And cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. Like, we're going to come up out of this madness, man. We're going to come up out of this madness and really start to live. But this is where, here in the Israelite School of UPK, this is where you learn to live. Learn to keep these laws. Learn to apply them to our lives. That's what time it is, man. We got to learn to apply this book to our lives, man. We're going to, from there, we're going to go to Baruch. We're going to go to Baruch 4 and 1. And we'll go to Baruch 4 and 1 real quick. Bear with me real quick. It's going to be the last scripture for time's sake. We'll go to Baruch chapter 4, verse 1. Alright, this is the book of the commandments of the Most High. That's what we got to recognize first and foremost. So it's the book of the commandments, man. It's the book of the commandments, black people's constitution. You know what I mean? This is our constitution. This is our customs, our laws, our way of life. And the law that endureth forever, like this, it don't stop. It don't stop. Christ said, I ain't come to do away with the law, nor the prophets. All the stuff that was written before Christ, it was there for real. It was there for our learning. The law endureth forever. Isn't that a beautiful thing? These laws give us safety in our community. You understand? Gives us morals in our community. And the Lord made it that it stays forever. You understand? We don't recognize and understand the value of these laws. We can't so much that we can't even see the death around us. They're incinerating our babies in abortion clinics every day. Thousands of babies being ripped out of a woman's womb and then burnt to ash. This is absolute hell, man. This is absolute hell. But this law here, we got to keep these laws forever, man. The law endure forever. All right, and they that keep it shall come to life, like I was saying. This is how we really start to live. This is how we really start to put the spirit of the Lord on us. You understand? You understand? We gotta really wrap our heads around this book and comprehend what's being said here. How we come to life, how we really wake up, is following these laws. Following these laws wholeheartedly, not just talking it, but living it. Not just talking it, but living it every day, you know, and how we operate, man. These are our morals, man. This is how we must conduct ourselves. We must do this, man. This is how we really come into life, come into really living. And we look around us every day, it's disgusting how we live. It's disgusting how our society, our world is, how we behave towards one another. You understand? And how the earth sees us and how the rest of the world sees us out of order because we're following after philosophies and doctrines of the heathen, right? Of the people that hate us, of the people that murder us. We're following a murderous bastard. But if we keep these laws, that's when we're going to really come to life. That's really when we're really going to come together. That's when our brotherhood, you know, gets restored. Our sisterhood gets restored. Our morals gets restored. Our customs become, you know, normalized. The way we dress, the way we talk, the way we operate in the earth. This is how we come to life as a nation and as individuals as well. This is that breath of life. This is that breath of life, but we can't just talk it. We got to live it wholeheartedly, man. We got to live it wholeheartedly, we got to really tap into what the Lord wants us to do, man. We can't just say that we love the Lord and we love the truth and we love this and we love that. We got to keep this. We got to keep the law, man. We got to keep the law. We got to learn the law. We got to keep the law. We got to, keep it in our houses, keep it in our homes. This is how we grow. This is how we transition into life. You understand? And they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. This is why we in desolence, man. This is why our community. This is why we in that grave. It's a grave around us. That's why we in the valley of the dry bones. Why is that? Because we're choosing to follow something that the Lord does not want us to follow. If we leave it, it's desolence, pestilence, destruction, death, crime, violence, murders, all around us. If we want all of that stuff to cease, and you want black people to start really living, then we got to come out of that Christian church. We got to come out of that Christian church. We got to come out of that Christian mindset and follow the Lord. Follow these laws, statutes, commandments. That's what we got to desire to do as a people, as a nation, man, and as individuals. We got to get back to the Lord. But for time's sake, we're going to wrap it up. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are under Commander General Yohana. You understand? We've been teaching this truth since 1969 that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are the true biblical Jews of the Bible, and that our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. We ought to separate from the oppressor's lifestyle, customs, his ways, man. We ought to separate, man, so we can truly come to light. You understand? Our new rules for brother and sister: when a new brother or sister come into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry ties, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21, and Malachi 3, 8 through 10, means 10th in the Hebrew, and is pronounced Ma'ashorah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you, give to the Treasury Department or the teacher, priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. We got Hanukkah coming up soon, so be on the lookout for that, all right? And of course, we got the Passover in April 15th. About Aki and Akra, have to check the social media, such as ISupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and for ISupk events and materials. If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, and headbands, or war scarves. All right? And with that, shalom, Israel.